Good
Yeah,
evening, people.
good evening,
Okay,
everyone.
right.
Yes, so good evening, everyone. Yeah, so this is another section for our training, the Learning Azure by Moonlight. Yeah, this is the 10th day, and today we have one here amongst going to be his knowledge is Microsoft staff and application performance on Azure. Now, as a step to our tutorials, like everybody knows, yeah, we always advise that everybody should mute their mics. Everyone should mute their mics. If you have any questions, to avoid interrupting the speaker, you can put it in the chat box. Okay, so the speaker from time to time will check the chat box to see if we have any questions. We won't interrupt him and we won't interrupt his flow. Okay, so I will beg every one of us to please mute our mics so that we could have a clean final section. And if we have more time, ask our questions. Yeah, so I want to hand over to Miss Dara Oladapo. Take it over from here. Thank you.
Right. Good evening, people. Um, it's an honor to be here. I hope you can hear me clearly. If you can't, please just let me know in the chat window. I will fix it. So good evening once again. My
Good
name
evening.
is Dara. Okay. My name is Dara, and today I'll be walking us through how to get insight into application performance on Azure. So just a little bit of intro. This is me. My name is Dara once again. I'm a trainer. I'm an Azure DevOps. Well, by certification, I'm an expert, but by learning, can we all mute, please? There's some background noise coming. Okay. So I'm a trainer. I'm a saxophonist. I've been writing software for about 10 years now, and I've been training for about 14 years thereabouts. Don't mind the baby face. I'm still a baby anyway. I'm somebody's baby. um, so that's my website. If you'd like to know more about me, just a little while. I messed something up there. Let me quickly change it. So I'll be debugging in production as we go on. So don't mind any rubbish you see up there. It's kind of like what I do. I fix problems when I'm live. So if you like to follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, that is me. I stream every Saturday. I podcast every Thursday. I stream on Twitch and YouTube.
Ogadera, please hold on. Please, everyone, please, can we mute our mics? Mr. Toby, John Ajala, please, can we mute our mics, please?
Is that? I can't hear you.
So you were saying everyone should mute their microphones.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think everyone except me and Mr. Paul are on mute right now. Okay, looks good. So recapping, where did I stop? Okay, I stream every Saturday on Twitch. So if you like to follow me, that's where you get that. So let's dive straight into what we got for today so I don't waste much of your time talking all about myself. So in this session, we will learn what application insights is, how to add it to our existing applications, and for that demo, I'll be using an ASP.NET Core application. But be rest assured, any programming language you write will be supported. But because I'm a C# and .NET programmer, I'll be using a .NET application for this. Also, we'll walk us through how to monitor the application telemetry from the Azure Portal, if also possible, if time permits, how to watch that from inside our debug console in Visual Studio. And also, I'll walk through some of the key features of application insights and how to use them. Even though I won't be delving so deep into all the concepts, but at least you get a grasp of what you need to get going with application insights. I didn't get that. Hello. I didn't hear what you said. Okay, I'll go on. I'll just look out in the chat window. All right, so what application insight is? Application insight is an application performance monitoring tool developed by Microsoft, even though it's not only for Microsoft products. So you use application insight to get telemetry in the sense of how your application is performing, how many requests are hitting your web application, which ones are failed requests, which ones are successful requests, what is the response time of your application, all those sort of metrics are what you use application insights to get. And application insights can be used for web applications majorly, even though there's a bridge where you can use it for mobile applications also. If time permits, I might touch on that, but just in case I don't, there's a video on it on YouTube you can go watch. Actually, tons of videos on YouTube you can go watch on how to integrate that. And luckily, I might touch on it in one of the streams this couple of weeks. But yeah, that is what application insight is. And if you want to read more, Google it on Bing. What application insight is. So now most people talk and say, how does it compare to Google Analytics and Google Page Insights and other sort of insight tools? For me, why I would choose application insight over anything is because it's easy for me to use. With few clicks, I'm able to add it to my application without complexities, and I can get ahead with it just in like 5 minutes. And I'll show us how I actually do that when I go into the demo session. Okay, so let's go through the first demo for the day, and that will be adding application insights into our existing code. So right here, I have an ASP.NET Core 3.1 application. I've not done so much with it. Let me see. Let me just be sure everything looks good. Okay, everything looks good. So I have an ASP.NET Core 3.1 application here. Let me see. Can I zoom? Just a moment while my magnifier boots up. Okay. So you see, I have an ASP.NET Core 3.1 application here. There's nothing much going on there yet. It's just a plain application that I get going there. So what I will do is, so let me actually run it for us and we'll see what it looks like. It's just a plain application. Nothing has been added to it. Just the bootstrap template for it. Okay, so I'm trying to run it now, and it should pop up any moment from now. So we just wait for that to go on. So if you have any questions also, you can put it in the chat window. I will see them and answer them as soon as I can. And if I'm going too fast, also let me know. So the application has finished building. I'm just waiting for it to run. Okay, it's about to run now. So I'm trying to look for where the browser it's launched in is showing up. Okay, found the browser. I'm not sure why it's this slow, but we'll figure it out. So let me just close all the other tabs. Close that. So because it's running for the first time, it might be pretty slow. So I'll just wait for that to run. Actually, I shouldn't have been using this browser. I will have to change it when I start debugging next. So just waiting for it to load up now. Let me see if I can quit some tasks. Close window. Close all of this. That is taking way too long than it normally should. So I'll just stop that process. I'll use another browser for this. It seems I've not prayed enough to the demo gods today. So let me just stop debugging that and use another browser. So let me switch my browser over here and run again. That looks faster. Please be really faster. Okay, it's coming up. Aha, finally, it loads up. So this is what it looks like. This is the application we have. You can navigate the pages. So there's practically nothing there. So let me just go ahead and close this now. The next thing I'll do now is I will add application insights to my code. How do I do that? Let me magnify again so we can see closely. I right click on my project, and the process might differ depending on the on your source code, on the programming language you're using to write your code. So but for Visual Studio users, this would be fairly familiar. So if you right click on the project and you click on add, you would see add application insights telemetry. That should actually show up if you're using the right version of Visual Studio, either community or pro or enterprise. So I'll click on that and I'll wait for the prompt to actually show up for me. And then I click on get started. So what I need to do, if I have an Azure account, I will go ahead and sign into my account. If I don't have an account currently, I'll click on get started for free. But because I have an account, I'll click on sign in. So I'll just wait for the sign in process to complete now. So to bring out a prompt for me to log in to my Azure tenant. And please note you can use a free account to achieve this purpose. So which account should I actually log in with? Okay, so I'll have to select another one of my accounts because none of this is actually this registered here. So I'll use the one of the demos, and that is my personal email address. So I will have to complete the sign-in process now with my two-factor authentication. So that is almost done. Send notification to me. Yes. Yep. That is almost done. Just wait while I complete that process. So it's trying to authenticate me and putting all my credentials there now. So that will take a couple of seconds or minutes, depending on your operating system and internet speed. So we just have to wait for that to complete. Okay, so it's done loading up my account details. I will go ahead and select and filter it out. So let me actually zoom in so we can see better. So I'll need to select the subscription I am using. So I know I'm using, I don't even have the right subscription here. I'll need to re-enter my credentials. Right. No problem. I'll gladly do that. I'm clicking, but it's trying not to click itself. I'm not sure why that is happening. So I'm just waiting for that process to complete. Please bear with me. For some very weird reasons, it doesn't seem to want to work. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I will switch up the subscriptions I want to use for this. So let me switch to this. Let me just switch the account I will use for this. I think I'll fix all the mess up later on, so I don't waste our time. Okay, so it's trying to authenticate me finally now. I pray this one works. Okay, that looks like it will work. And it's asking me, do I want to create a new resource for this or not? Because I don't like the default configuration that actually comes with this thing, I'll go ahead and click on configure settings so I can change some things up. So first thing, I'll need to change the resource group that it's in. So I'll use this. The name is okay for me, and I like to put this in West Europe. So for that, I think I'm satisfied. I'll click on OK. And the next thing I'll do now, I'll just click on register. So what it will do for me is that it will add application insights, SDK to my code. It will also send that data to Azure, and it will start tracking my code actively. Let me switch up this again. For some reason, Visual Studio messes up these things sometimes, but yeah, we'll get around that. So start. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but start in West Europe. Click on OK. Let's do this again. I'm not sure why it's giving me that error, to be factually honest with you. But let me switch this up again and see what happens. Thank God I have more than one subscription to play with. Or maybe that could be my problem, actually. Waiting for that to complete. Okay, let me go ahead and reconfigure this. No, I don't want to be in East US. Thank you. I want to be in West Europe. West Europe. Yep, thank you. I'll okay that. What is it doing again? Okay, then I'll click on register. So that will take a couple of seconds. So if you download the SDK to my code, restore NuGet packages, and then it will start actively monitoring my code. So while that actually happens, let me log into Azure in another browser so we can see the process that goes on there. So let me complete the sign-in process off screen.
Again causing trouble.
So it's still adding the SDK. and Visual Studio sort of hung. But blame that on my PC. I've been stressing it out. So wait for that process to complete. Okay. So I'm gonna have to switch my directory over here. Yep. Okay, it's almost done adding. It's actually done. It's just my PC that is hanging right now. Okay, so this is Azure. And let me do a little bit of zoom into that. And we can see, where is it? I can't even find that resource before. I'll find it. Don't worry. Found it. So this is the resource. This is the application insight resource now. And this is what we'll be tracking from here on in Azure. So I'll just click into that. And currently there will be no metrics because we've not actually run the application. But if I go back into Visual Studio, you'll see it's done configuring. And let me just do a little bit of page navigation up and down.
Okay.
Hello.
Sorry, I wanted to say that the screen, we can't see the screen, but it's fine now.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
to interrupt.
No problem. So I'm waiting for the application to launch. Yeah, I think I found one corporate gulping up my GPU. So I'm gonna close it for now. Okay, application is rolling. So I'm just waiting for that to load up so I can just do some brief page navigations and then we can see that insight plug into Azure and be sure it works. Okay, our application is up. Some things are really using my CPU, but all right, so let me just navigate some pages up and down, up and down, up and down. Don't mind however crazy thing I'm doing here. I'm just trying to generate some traffic into the application. Okay, so I think I might be satisfied a little bit now. So let me go back into Azure and see what that feels like. It might still take some time for the telemetry to actually come in here, but it will definitely come. So what I'll do now is let me unpin this. Unpin toolbar. Okay, good. So let me stop running this. And then we should be able to see some data in here in a few seconds. Because it's new, it might take some time for that ingest to happen and for the logs to show up here. So any second from now, okay, we actually see some stuff. So you can see there's some requests that has come in, and the average server response time here, let me do a little bit of more zoom, is 120 milliseconds, which looks fairly okay. And then we can see there has been 24 server requests. So if I click on this server request actually, and that has taken us a little bit into the second part since we've added the SDK. And this is now the part where we monitor the telemetry from the Azure portal. So you can see if it's green, it means everything is looking good. So we can see the operations that have happened, and we can see the average response time is 35 milliseconds. And there's been a total of 10 requests that has come in into the application. And we can see that over here. We can look into more details by switching to the browser view and see all sort of data. So if I click into this also, you're actually able to see let me zoom a little bit more in. You're able to see the client OS, the city the person is generating this report from, the browser, and all sort of details. And this is just an overview. If I click on go to details, I can see more information. I can see the version of the browser. I can see the performance. I can see the country. I can see also, but because this is a new application, there's not too much rich data to actually go through here. But we can see, we have an idea of what it looks like. And then you can see all that pop up in here. So that is that. So from the overviews page, you can actually see what it feels like to have your application running. So you can see, so if you actually do a little bit of more running, we can see more data. What I will, is there a question? Okay, so what I will do now is to be able to actually show us more stuff, I will go into an application that is actually live, that has been up for a number of weeks, for us to see what it feels like to have the application running. So I will go back to my home and I will click on one application here. Let me see. I think this one should have some data. Does it? No, let me filter the days to 30 days. Aha, awesome. So here I filtered this to about 30 days, and you can see this one actually has field requests. So you can see it has about 265 field requests in the last 30 days. If I filter it down to 3 days, no errors in the last 3 days, which means someone is doing something right. In the last 7 days, nothing, but in the last 30 days, there has been some very drastic wahala. And you can see how all this turns out. You can see the server response time also dropping and all that. The server requests, 45,000 server requests came in and all that. So what I would do now is, so one thing you can also do is, let me see, let me actually visit that application now. So one feature I would like to show us now is the live stream. So you're actually able to see how your application is performing real time. So what I'll do now, I will visit this page. Then I will go ahead and view the insights for it. Now, a regular question I get asked is, does our application have to be in Azure to use application insights? The simple answer is no. Excuse me. The simple answer to that is no. Your application can be hosted anywhere, but your application insight resource has to be in Azure. But you can plug it to any application that runs on any sort of server, either Windows, Mac, or Linux, or even behind the firewall in your on-prem environment. So you can have that monitoring happen anywhere. Okay, so let me now go here. So the application is actually running here. It's something I'm working with one of my customers. So I will go over here now to live metrics stream. So actually see how I'm able to monitor live traffic on my application. So something is showing here. Yeah, I'm selling laptop. Just kidding now. I don't sell laptop. This is one of my customers. So it's getting ready to show me the live metric stream now. We'll just wait for it. So let me minimize this view a little bit so I can see more rich data. And let me minimize this a little bit. So you can see stuff happening here. So I'll pull this out to another page here. And I'll do a little bit of refresh and stuff. So you can actually see the request rates coming in. There's an average of 4 requests per second coming in here. If you look at this chart, you can see the request duration. If there are failures, you will see them here. Outgoing requests none so far. You can see the CPU utilization, the memory usage, exception rates if there are any, and you can see a little bit. So if your application is running on more than one instance, you're also able to see that here in the live metric stream. And there has been no error so far, so you will see nothing here. And let me just do a little bit of more refresh over here. So I'll just go to some more pages. I will see that request rate actually spike up a little bit. So that is me actually going ahead to do some refresh over here. And you can see it's live. So if users are hitting your application every time, you're able to see everything happen live here with the live metric stream. And also you can, if you want to view it classic, you can go ahead and do that, but I normally wouldn't advise you to do that. So that is live metric stream. I'll just leave the application running so we can have more data being ingested over there. Now, one thing you can also do, so let me just click to enter this a little bit more. One thing you can also do is see the dependencies on your application. So the application map enables you to be able to do that. You are able to view what APIs your application is connecting to, what is it depending on, is using some dependencies that is not compliant for your use or not. So in the last hour, we've had 49 calls to this application, which is all green. There's been no error so far. And there's a filter here that says if it should exclude error 400s or not. Let me just leave that as on. If I choose it as off, it means any error 400 it encounters, it will ignore it. But let me leave that on so that it will help me catch every error 400 that actually happens on my application. Also, I like to use the linear view, not the circular view. So what I will do, this is the insight for the last hour. But what I want to do is actually see insights for, say, 30 days, the ones that has too much error. So I'll apply that, and I will see a broader view of my application map pop up in just a few seconds. Aha, this looks better or richer. Me? Okay, power is gone, so I need to switch my screen now. Just give me a little time to switch my screen over here. So I might not be able to see the chat that come in. So I'll move over to screen 1, and then I will disconnect my external display so I can see everything from one view. But you can still see my face. I'll try to put on the lights. Yeah, we're in Nigeria. Power is not perfect yet, but we'll work through all that. Okay, you can still see me, yeah? Yes, you can. If you can't, blame NEPA or power holding or whoever. So what I should actually do, let me see if I can get the power back on. Let me call. Okay, but let me just go on. So if I drill down more into this, Please, Mr. Paul or let me know if there are any questions in the IM so I can answer them. I can't see any questions right now because I'm using just one screen to present. So, so you can see in the last 30 days, there has been a total of 451,000 calls on this resource, and the failure rate has been about 1.8 plus 0.2. That's 2% failure. And we can see the instances where this actually happened. So I can click more on this and see whatever has been going on in my application. So that is application map. You can drill down more into it. So if you look further to the right, you're able to see which requests were cancelled, which one was error 404. But the ones that should be more concerned about will probably be the errors in the 500 ranges. So if I click on that, I'm just trying to get the power on. So just give me a few moments. GTMAN. Okay, so you can see there's been a total of 23. So I'll continue. Anyways, we'll survive this. So let me click on the error 500 count to drill down into it. And then what I see is, let me zoom a little bit more in. Okay, let me close this view. What I get to see is where exactly that problem occurred in my application. And I'm able to do a drill down of it. So this is telling me, so I can see a map of the failure as in the process it takes for this to happen. I can see the exception occurred on nitisoft.json here. So I'm actually able to also see where the problem occurred. So I'm able to see the path of the API where the problem occurred, the environment it occurred in, all these details right here. And this is a dependency problem, but let me actually look and see if there is a code specific problem. Let me see. Okay, maybe this could be still a code specific problem that it actually shows me the exact line where the problem occurred in my code, but it seems the errors are all dependency problems. So you can actually see all that. Also, one benefit of this is you can, so if you have Azure DevOps plugged into this, you can create a work item as a bug to feed back into your DevOps processes. But that is not in the context of this of today, so I wouldn't show that. But just to show us you are able to do that. What else do I want to show us in Application Insights? Okay, failures. You can see failures for your application. Is you just list all the failures that have happened based on the filter of the number of days or hours you have selected. Also, you can monitor the performance, and this is actually critical, performance monitoring, which is actually a very key feature of this, is you're able to see if your application has been serving your customers in a satisfactory way. So this looks into that. The important part I actually want to show is a little bit down here. So you can see all the performance metrics that has happened over here. But what I actually want to show us, let me scroll down a little bit more into the usage section. If I click on the user section, yeah, even though it doesn't give me the personal information of my users, I'm able to see metrics like the location of the user, the operating system they use, and all sorts. So let me filter this into, say, 90 days data. So it will give me data over the last 90 days for my application. There's been one unique user because it's been a test account anyway. And I can see the country it's been used in, and I can see the number of sessions that have occurred. There's been a total of 116 sessions, 462 events. The performance has been fair based on the response rates of 0.118 seconds. That is 118 milliseconds. If I change this metric, but it's advisable not to change it. So the performance has not been awesome, but it's been manageable. And I can see my monthly active users, retention rate 100%. You can drill down more into all this as you go on. And the good news is if you decide to start using this, you can start using it for free as of today. And mostly, if you're not doing so much, you might never get to actually pay for it when you decide to start using it. So let me go here. So monitoring application telemetry, we've done that. Walkthrough of the features, we've done that. And I think that ends the show for me. I think there may be some questions here for me now. Okay, no questions. So I think I've ended the session. I've talked through all the major points I want to share. So if there are any questions now, this will be the time for the questions to come. Anyone got questions? Questions? So if you have questions now, you can unmute and ask.
Okay. Based on what you've explained right now, I am trying to, because there's an application I'm currently working on, and the developers have been of the opinion that, oh, I should put it on AWS. I am looking at putting it on Azure. I'm actually new to Azure anyway. So now, this implementation that I've seen right now, although you've answered one of the questions, one of my, how do I put it, my questions anyway that I will have asked earlier when you said your app can be hosted anywhere. But would you basically advise that it's preferably if it's on Azure where this will be able to communicate with it better? Because sometimes I understand the implication of all this cross-platform and the compatibility, being able to communicate properly with each other. Is this any way going to be affected by such? Like, oh, you might not be able to get 100% of the functionalities because it's not on Azure. Do you understand?
So for application insights, you will get all the functionalities wherever you're hosting it. AWS, GCP, DigitalOcean, your private server, your on-prem behind the firewall, you will get all the telemetry that you need, 100% of it.
Okay.
But we advise you to use Azure because it's the coolest.
Okay, I think I'll put that into consideration.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question? Questions. So if you probably have questions later on that you remember, you can tweet at me. I will see it and I will answer it as soon as I am able to. So I'll just wait for a few more minutes if there are more questions that come on in. Because I like to answer questions. Please ask questions. Questions? Are there any more questions? Or was that too boring? Okay, I guess there are no more questions.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
All right, hi, Dara. My name is Ugo.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm totally new to Azure. I really hoped I could meet this webinar as early as possible, but I guess here I am. So I really am angry myself. I missed the beginning. I'm just training right now.
So no
So,
worries, it's recorded. It's
yeah,
recorded, so you
okay,
can always watch over again.
okay. So, is there a place where the link is? Like,
I think
can I
it's
see
shared on
it on this
WhatsApp.
window? All right.
Shared on WhatsApp. After the recording is done and all that, the link will be shared.
Okay, Dara, do you have any resource you have done, something more expansive that I could look at? Because I want something that could speak to the situation that I'm in. And being that you're a Nigerian developer, there are a lot of things that you will understand, especially about our terrain. So I think I would prefer learning Azure from a Nigerian than from somebody outside. So I don't know if you have resources, videos, probably recordings and stuff that I could look at and then just find my way around this.
Yes, I do have some videos, and some of the MVPs around also have some videos on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel,
Right.
you'll be able to find some of my playlists. So what I try to do is I group them in playlists so you're able to find them better. So if you go to youtube.com/daroladapo, you look through my playlists. If there's content that you need that you're not finding, just put it in the comments.
Right.
I will see them, and as soon as I'm able to, I'll produce the content and publish it up. But just in
No.
case, you can search through YouTube for any other valuable resource. And also, you can look through Microsoft Learn website. That's
Right.
docs.microsoft.com/learn. It's actually a valuable resource you can always count on, aside the videos and all that stuff. But if you need a Nigerian view to it, you can visit my YouTube channel. I constantly put stuff up there, even though I've not put any stuff up this week.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dara.
Is there any more questions? Question.
Yeah, so there are no questions really. Hello, Dara, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so yeah,
The network is sort of breaking.
Okay, so can you hear me now? Am I clearer?
Okay, it's better now.
Okay, so yeah, Dara, you have a question. It says, does application insights can automatically improve application performance?
And it's what?
Can application insights automatically improve application performance?
The answer is no. It's only used to monitor the performance and report it to you. You now decide what to do based on the report you get. Did I answer the question? Are there any other questions?
Hello, Dara.
So if you have any questions, please you can open your mics and ask the question. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, I can hear you. Hi, I can hear you. Good evening.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Good evening. Thanks for the great class that we just attended. Now, meanwhile, there's something that came into my mind as I was going through what you were displaying. However, I failed off at some point.
Okay.
Now, this is my question. I currently work in a place where we deploy different kind of software. to different kind of organizations. And now we have we normally have this request from major clients, like they want us to customize reports for them.
Okay.
Something similar to like business intelligence report. So
Okay.
and in most cases, we often request for reporting server and all this blah blah. So I just wanted to know, can application insight be integrated with any environment in such a way that it can now automatically give report feedback based on customized parameters that will be provided to application insight. So if some customized parameters are provided to application insight in an environment where it's already existing. So what we just need is something like a business intelligence report for application insight. Is this something this could do?
Yes, definitely 100%. So application insight. So any resource in Azure that you have, you can connect to it through any API connection. So because these services they are API services, so there are many ways you can do this. Power BI is a connector to application insights you can use directly. Also, another way you can do this is there's this thing called Custo Query, where you can do queries, and then these query results, you can plug them into Power BI or any BI tool that you use. And you can also create customized reporting applications based on the API calls you make to the application insights SDK. So yes, you can do your custom reporting and whatever you want to do with it.
So can I get like a way of testing out, because I can hear that we can use this for free for some time, and all the stuff that you told us. So I wanted to just know if there's a way that I can have the availability to test out application insights, in one of my environments that are hosted on the cloud.
Yeah, definitely. You can get started with it for free. So if you go to azure.com/free, you can sign up for a free trial of Azure, and then you can play with it. So also, you are built based on the amount of data you ingest into the insight, because basically application insight is a log service. So it gets the log and then reports the log.
Okay.
I think you can get free ingest of 5 gig per month. Then after you exceed 5 gig, then you start paying. But the amount you actually pay is pretty minimal, and it's what you can afford. But most times, if you are just testing and playing around, you might not even pay for it till you want to go to production.
All right, I'll try it out. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Are there any other questions?
Okay, so do we still have any questions? Hello, do we still have any questions for Mr. Dara? Okay. So I want to believe there are no other questions. So okay, so there's a question here, Dara. It says,
Okay.
can I use application insights to plan my cloud application migration journey? Can I use application insights to plan my cloud application migration journey?
I think I would like more context into that question.
Yeah, so we can open our mics. Anyone that wants to ask a question is fine. We can open our mics and then ask the questions. Hello, we can open our mics, it's fine. Let's ask our questions. We still have 5 minutes to go. Okay, so I want to believe no other people have questions. I want to thank Mr. Dara Oladapo for taking his time to taking us through getting insights into Azure application performance is a thing that needs that is that is a major concern when it comes to web development or when it comes to websites or web applications, even on Azure also. Web uh, monitoring is one of the major things that's a concern, and performance is also a major thing for us also. So I want to thank Mr. Dara for taking his time to take us through the insight into web application using Azure to improve your just monitoring so that you could know how to improve your performance. Yeah, someone is asking here that can we have Dara's contact so that we can follow up with other stuff on Azure? Yeah, that is.
Yeah, my contact is on the screen.
Yeah, we can see it from the screen. Yeah, yes, it's on the screen. Yes, DaraOladapo.com, Twitch Dara YouTube.com/DaraOladapo, Twitter.com/DaraOladapo. You can follow him up on any of these handles, and he records daily video, weekly videos every Wednesday, if I'm correct, Mr. Dara. Yeah.
Saturday by 3 p.m. West African time.
Every Saturday, yeah, 3 p.m. West African time. We can join him on his channels. He posts live videos, and we can also join the channels to also learn about development and about Azure performance, .NET and other things. So I want to thank Mr. Dara for taking his time to show us through app development and performance on Azure. Okay, so we can further ask more questions, but we can post it in the group because we are rounding up anytime. But I don't know if you can take this one question, Mr. Dara, before you. Yeah?
Okay, sure, no problem. I'll take it.
Okay, so this is going to be the last question. It says you cannot use. Oh, okay. Sorry, someone is trying to answer it. Okay, that's not a question. Someone is trying to answer a question. So I want to say thank you for taking the time to join the call today. Tomorrow is another day, and we'll be having another section tomorrow. It's about managing Azure resources. How to manage your Azure resources for people that have 100 Azure resources, and means to manage your Azure resources. Tomorrow is another day to learn